we found very interesting that 56% of the children that we surveyed indicated that they would not know where to go in case something happened to them or to one of their friends. When it comes to online reporting, 34% of the children said that they did not know where to go in case they encounter harmful content online. And something also very interesting is that 60% of the children indicated they never received any type of sex education.
由联合国儿童基金会、国际刑警以及国际终止同济组织联合进行的马来西亚性骚扰伤害研究报告揭露，针对全马995户家庭展开的调查所得，大马年龄介于12至17岁的青少年，有94%为互联网使用者，其中有约4%为在线性剥夺和性虐待的实例对象。
And in the report, we cover a range of different, let's say, typologies of oxea. So based on children's responses, we found that in the past year, 2% of children were offered money or gifts in return for sexual images or videos. In the same time period, 1% were offered money or gifts online to then engage in sexual acts in person. And this again illustrates how digital technology can be used to facilitate in-person or contact abuse. Next, we know that 1% of children were threatened or blackmailed online to engage in sexual activities, and 3% had their sexual images or videos shared with others without their permission. It was only asked of 15 to 17-year-old children, so the older children in our sample, due to the sensitivity of the question. And we found that 2% of children in that age group had actually accepted money or gifts in exchange for sexual images or videos of themselves. Because of the sensitive nature of the survey and violence against children research in general, we do expect some level of underreporting, meaning that these figures in reality could actually be much higher. And of note is that we don't see notable gender or age differences in the children being subjected to oxea in Malaysia, and this once again emphasizes that all children need equal protection.
In order to provide better protection to children, we also noted how this could be done through a few legal amendments, a bit of a legal reform in some areas. Include the criminalization of live streaming of child sexual abuse, either as a separate offense or also making a clarification in the existing provision on child sexual abuse material that there is a crime also when the child sexual abuse does not end up in a physical material, in a device, in a file or whatever, but is just streamed online, so with no trace remaining. We also look at the strengthening of the implementation of the Sexual Offences Against Children Act, which, as I mentioned, has not been widely used for the prosecution of offenders so far. And then we look also at the legislation on age of sexual consent. As you may be aware, the legislation on age of sexual consent in Malaysia is not harmonized across the different pieces of legislation. This means that the protection might differ depending on the application of these provisions. As disrupting arm, we recommend for legislation on age of sexual consent to be consistent across the legislation of the country and also to ensure that it equally protects children of any gender. Finally, looking at the policies, we also recommended, disrupting arm recommended, the creation of a roadmap for the implementation of the updated National Child Policy and Action Plan.